Okay, our structure on the studies on the kidney continue. And so in the last class, we were able to discuss some level on the functions and operations of the kidney. Once again, I want to show you something very important. Here you have the kidney properly positioned. I informed in the last class that the left kidney, the left kidney is much more slightly higher than the right kidney. Yes, this is the left kidney. This is the right kidney. They are opposite you because you are you are opposite this structure as you are looking at it. So in your right, it becomes the left, whereas your left becomes the right. So this is our right hand side, which is equivalent to the left kidney, whereas this is our left hand side, which is equivalent to the right kidney. So if another person is standing opposite you, so your left becomes the person's right, whereas the person's right becomes your left. So because we are sitting just opposite this is the left kidney. Now, this left kidney we can see is higher than the right kidney. The reason is because of the presence of liver. The liver is more aligned to the left, more aligned to the left than the right of these kidneys. That is very important. Take note of that. The liver is more aligned to the left than to the right. So the positioning of the liver is such that more space is occupied around this side than this side. So the liver now tends to push this up. It tends to push it up, so to say, because of the occupation of much more space around this region. Okay, that is very important to note. Then another thing that is important to note here is the structures on top of this kidney. Look at these structures labeled A on top of the kidney. That is the adrenal gland. Adrenal gland. That is on top of the kidney. The adrenal glands are responsible for production of adrenaline. Adrenaline. So adrenaline is responsible for emergency actions. Actions that are under emergency. You know, glucose utilization under emergency and during fear or actions that one does not really intend to do, or when you are scared, it is the adrenaline that is at work, or emotional height. Adrenaline is at work. Some people refer to the liver. It is not the liver. People say you have liver, when you carry out, it is not liver, but adrenaline. So the adrenal gland is right on top of the kidney. So let's now talk about the nephron. The nephron. This is the nephron. The nephron, I talked about it in the last class, is the functional part of the kidney. The functional part of the kidney is this nephron. The nephron, you can see here you have major blood vessels, renal artery, and renal vein. This is the renal artery. This is the renal vein. The renal artery and the renal vein, here they are. So the launch material, remember artery, in the last class I said carries blood rich in oxygen. So the renal artery launches this blood into this glomerulus of the Bowman's capsule. This entire cup structure is the Bowman's capsule. But inside the Bowman's capsule, you can see those tubes I was talking about the other time. That is the glomerulus. Here is the glomerulus. The glomerulus. So when this is launched into this place, filtration will now begin to occur. filtration will occur. That is, the blood, the kidney will begin the filtering of materials in the blood. It is important to note that blood vessels, that's blood cells or blood corpuscles, cannot pass through this, cannot be filtered out. Blood cells cannot be filtered out. So during the process of the filtration, useful materials enter into this place. Useful materials enter into this place. So this is the proximal convoluted tubule. That is the proximal convoluted tubule. After ultrafiltration must have taken place, it enters straight into the tubule. So you can see the tubule running. So when it enters into this tubule, it begins its course along the tubule. This is the proximal convoluted tubule. This first coiling structure is the proximal convoluted tubule, where water and salt are reabsorbed. So if this proximal convoluted tubule is missing, then it means that water will not be reabsorbed. That means that the urine that we passed out will be highly diluted because much more of water will be expelled from the body. Much more water will be released from the body if this proximal convoluted tubule was not to be in place. So it begins its course. As you can see, it continues to driving down. This is the loop I was talking about, the loop of Henle. That is the loop of Henle I talked about in the last class. So where water and salts are also reabsorbed, the material will continue its course along this tubule. It continues its course at the distal convoluted tubule. This is the distal convoluted tubule. This structure. Oh, let me mark it clearly. Distal convoluted tubule is okay. Let me use this. This structure here is the distal convoluted tubule. Yeah, that is the distal convoluted tubule. You have it here and here, the distal convoluted tubule. So in the distal convoluted tubule, things also happened here. One is reabsorption of water and salts. Two is hormonal secretion. The secretion of a hormone called antidiuretic hormone. That's ADH. Antidiuretic hormone is produced here. So the work of this antidiuretic hormone is to reabsorb water. In fact, water is very much needed in the body, so the function will be to reabsorb water. When water is needed in the body, ADH will not be produced, or little or no ADH will be produced. Again, when water is needed in the body, much more of the ADH will be produced. That is, much more water will be reabsorbed. When water is not needed in the body, that is, the body is having enough water, then ADH will not be produced, or little of it will just be produced. The reason or philosophy behind the production of ADH is to reabsorb water. So when the body is having much more water, then it means that the water will be allowed to leave the body. That is why somebody that takes excess water, sometimes the person frequents in urinating, and the urine that is passed under this means is usually diluted urine. So here you have the collecting duct. The collecting duct, that is where all the water reabsorptions ends. Collecting ducts, and then the urine now enter into this pelvics down to the urinary bladder. Good. And so now that structure there is the nephron. Like I said last time, to draw the nephron, you need to be very careful in that. So this is the glomerulus. That is the glomerulus. Then this is the proximal convoluted tubule. So it produces it Henle's loop, then distal convoluted tubule, giving you the collecting dot. So it goes again the second time. And so you have it, collecting dots. So here you have renal artery bringing in material into this place where this ultrafiltration occurs in this glomerulus of the Bowman's capsule. This is a sketch of the nephron, the functional part of the kidney. Good. And so functions of the kidney. Number one is maintenance of acid-base balance. Maintenance of acid-base balance. Yeah, the kidney helps to maintain a balance between acid and base. That is, when there is much more acid in the body is acidic, the kidney allows the excretion of more hydrogen ions. Hydrogen ions are excreted when the body is much more acidic. So they will leave so as to bring a balance in the body. The number two, removal of water. Yes, excess water is removed, and this is in the form of what we call urine, or formation of urine as removal of water. Excess water is removed in the body. It is the kidney that performs this function. Number three is production of erythropoietin. Production of erythropoiesis or erythropoiesis. 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 That is the production of the hormone, erythropoiesis. Erythropoiesis is a phenomenon. Then erythropoiesis is a hormone that is responsible for the production of red blood cell. That's erythrocytes. That's another function of the hormone. Another function of the kidney, production of erythropoiesis. Erythropoiesis is a hormone that is responsible for production of erythrocytes, which is the red blood cell. Then removal of toxin. Yes, the kidney filters out waste and harmful substances, which is removed from the body. Okay, it helps to control blood pressure. That's another one function, control of blood pressure. Then balance of electrolytes. Yes, we can also call this osmoregulation. Osmoregulation. The kidney helps to maintain a balance between salt and water in the body. When there is excess salt in the body, the kidney allows the reabsorption of more water so that the high concentration of this salt will be brought to a lower one. Then last one there is vitamin D activation. Yeah, it activates vitamin D in the body. And so you can see we can coin an acronym for these functions, which is what? A wet bed. A, acid base balance. W, water removal. E, erythropoiesis. D, toxin removal. B, there, blood pressure control. E, electrolyte balance. D, vitamin D activation. That's the wet bed there as a function of the kidney. But generally, for the sake of XSCE or JAMP or ordinary level, A level, where we have this function, we can just say formation of urine as one of the functions, then maintenance of acid base balance as the second one, and the third one would not be excretion, that is removal of toxins. Yeah, removal of toxins. It is also important to note this erythropoiesis, though not very important in ordinary level. Erythropoiesis, formation of that hormone. So formation of urine is one, maintenance of acid base balance is two, uh, osmoregulation, maintenance of salt water balance is three, then erythropoiesis is four. These four are very, very important, even as others are also very important. And so that is it on the kidney. That is it on the kidney. Let us now see your assignment. This assignment two. Yesterday I gave you assignment one. This is assignment two. Number one. Okay, I will not read them. I'll just show you the assignments. You go through them. You go through them. Number two, go through them. Go through them. I might not be reading them for you. Number three, just go through them. I will not be reading them for you. Number four, go through them. The structure that connects the kidney to the urinary bladder is ureter, urethra, renal pelvis, collecting duct. Number five, the functional unit of the kidney is called glomerulus nephron capsule calyx. Number six, the reason why the kidney is slightly lower. Oh, I just discussed this. The reason why the right kidney is slightly lower than the left kidney is, yes, read the options there. I just discussed that. Number seven, the kidney in human body extends from, oh. Okay, let me talk a little on this. Let me flash small on this. Okay, that's that structure. Okay. This structure of the kidney. Yeah, from this point, from this point down to this point, okay, down to this point where you have the kidney. Okay, you know that it occupies the thoracic and the lumbar vertebrae. The thoracic vertebrae in previous class we talked about it. Thoracic vertebrae, they are 12 in number. So the last vertebrae there is the 12th thoracic vertebrae, which is where this kidney actually started. That's from the last part of the vertebrae, then it extends to the third part of the lumbar vertebrae. It begins with the last part of the thoracic vertebrae and ends with the third part of the lumbar vertebrae. All right, so that is it. Go through the assignment and submit this work as fast as possible. Thank you. The other part of the class will come. That is diseases of the kidney, and the assignment will come shortly. Okay.